You're listening to the Gettin' Salty Experience podcast.
Hello! Ellie Kubler in Franklin Square. That's right. I gave my mother a shout out.
A little shout out.
I was
85.
85, dude. We had a good time. I took her upstate with Chief Steve. You know, we cracked a couple open. She's always laughing. You know that, bro.
Oh,
always
my God.
Two things my mother does. She watches this show and she laughs a lot.
She definitely has the best laugh. Contagious.
Yeah, it is. Yep. 85. I hope I make it somewhere near that.
And she's a lot funnier than you.
She could be. Yeah. Yeah. I know what I call her. I call her the Virgin Mary of mothers. It's the best mother since Virgin Mary. I call her all the time. And of course, she giggles. That's how it goes. Welcome back to the Gettin' Salty Experience podcast. We got Mike sitting in tonight. He's got his tie on. He's all ready for Thanksgiving to eat the bird. And yes, we will not be here Thanksgiving, but we didn't forget about you. We have a show booted up. Did you watch it, Ralph? You didn't watch it.
Which one?
Our Thanksgiving show. Hello, Earth.
I did. Oh no, I just told. Well, if you came into the show earlier, you would have known. I told Mike I didn't have a chance to watch it, but I'm going to watch it tomorrow.
Look at that. The best offense. Yeah. The best defense is good offense, right, Mike?
Right back.
I did a fabulous job of editing it. Excellent job. And it's all about the famous fires that happen on Thanksgiving. We can't go a night without getting something to you guys. So
it'll be Thursday.
Thursday night. Enjoy it.
Actually, Thursday morning.
How long is it, Mike?
15 minutes, just under 16. And then it's going to hit the airwaves Thursday, 10 a.m.
Oh, shit, in the morning. So if you want to watch it before football, watch a little Getting Salty and football.
That's why I scheduled it for that time.
Eat your turkey. Go into the, what do you call it, coma. What does turkey have?
Coma.
The what?
The food coma?
Yeah, well, no, what does turkey have? Tryptophan.
That's something.
Yeah, puts you to sleep.
What, you frying the turkey again?
I am. 2 turkeys this time, bro. I'm going to put one in. Then when it's done, I'll take it out, carve it up, and I'll drop the other one just for later. Or you got to love turkey like the next day, right?
They say the best way to do that is to pull it right out of the freezer and throw it right in the oil.
No. Don't listen to Lou. That is not true. You want it to explode in your face, that's the best way to do it. Has to be totally dry. Yes.
Local man's food.
Yeah. It has to be dry.
Well, pull up some of those YouTube videos of those guys. It's like job security.
Yeah. I actually blew one up one time. I put it in and I went to the store and I forgot I had it in there. Before I know it, the whole thing was a fireball underneath the tree.
Come on.
Yeah. I just totally forgot. I left it there and then it caught fire and the grease caught fire.
Outside?
Outside. Yeah, you got to do it far away from the house. You know who came to the rescue? The rug. He stretched the hose line from my garden hose and he put it out.
Really?
It cooled down the
copious amounts of water.
Copious amounts of water. He put it out. But we had a ruined bird. So we took whatever was left.
You could just put the frozen bird right in the oil.
Yeah, don't do that. No. Don't do that. Don't. But where are you going to? The mother-in-law's? You have lasagna. And what else? What are we having? The manicotti. You can't say manicotti. The manicotti. What else?
Lasagna. Turkey.
Meatballs?
I'm a big cranberry guy.
Like what? Like the belled ones that come out of the.
No, I do like that one though.
I do too. Yeah. Well, what does she make? Like fresh cranberries or something?
Yeah. She's the goods.
Really?
Yeah. I told Mikey you come down to the city if you wanted to come in. I
tried the bamboozle.
Gave me the stiff. Yeah, gave me the stiff arm.
He don't want to come. He's too good.
I can go down to Queens at any given point. This Thursday. I'm just going to be sleeping.
He's going to sleep late.
Look at his face.
But you let me know the time and the place to go down to Queens. I love the borough of Queens.
All right.
And now he's calling you on your bluff. You making rice and beans because he won't come if you don't make rice and beans. Yeah, I gotta make rice for the Filipinos. You gotta have. Isn't that funny? You gotta make turkey, stuffing, all the shit, and then you gotta make a big pot of white rice.
Gabe Fox said he's not allowed out of the attic.
After dark, Gabe. After dark is not allowed out.
Oh, look! Nin keeps roasting. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, I bet you would have got the Queens if you asked him. Trump whatever the hell that is.
Dude, That kid would be out of there so fast. If the
Not
ESU
true.
invited him, he'd be there
Not
with
true.
fucking pastries and Dell and all the shit all over.
Look at his face. Look at his face. Not true. Not true.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
All right, get to the commercials. Let's go because we got a hard charger in here again. Who gets the hard charger, Ruffy? We do. That's right.
That's absolutely right. Well, before we get to tonight's guest, let's hear from our friends over at the Fire Store.
The Fire Store, equipping protectors with passion. Every decision we make as a company is about you, our customer. We wouldn't be where we are today without you, and we don't take that lightly. The Fire Store started by simply seeing and fulfilling a need in the fire service. It's how we operated then, and it's how we operate today. No matter how much we grow, we will always staff active or retired firefighters, police officers, EMTs, and paramedics. With over 1,000 years of combined public safety experience, we know our products and our customers, and will never compromise on quality because your safety matters. We understand that having the right gear can mean the difference between life and death. Our goal is to get you the gear you need when you need it at prices you can afford. Visit us at thefirestore.com for everything but the truck, and shop our family of brands including Streamlight, MSA, Lion, FLIR, and more.
Fire Store. Yep.
Very nice. Check them out. Moving on, of course, now a word from our friends over at Armor Tough.
Armor Tough interlocking floor tiles are the best choice to replace new or aging, stained, or cracked concrete or epoxy floors. Here's why. Armor Tough tiles come with a lifetime warranty and are usually installed in 1 or 2 days, depending on the size of your station, with virtually no disruption in daily operation. Armor Tough interlocking tiles are guaranteed from chipping, cracking, peeling, breaking, or staining. Once installed, the tiles are non-skid and non-slip and meet the ADA standards for the friction coefficient. The tiles are stain resistant and impervious to any chemicals or volatiles that are used in the fire service. Once installed, your floor will be easy to clean with just soap and water. Install an Armor Tough tile floor in your apparatus bays, offices, training rooms, workshops, exercise rooms, kitchens, banquet halls, or any other room in your station. Call Vince today for a no-obligation quote at 908-917-7697. Why install a breakable epoxy floor that will need replacing in 5 to 10 years when you could have a floor that will last a lifetime? Drop a halogen on an Armor Tough floor and you won't see any damage. Don't try this with concrete or epoxy. Join the hundreds of career and volunteer fire departments nationwide who have chosen an Armor Tough interlocking tile floor. Armor Tough interlocking tiles are half the price of epoxy and will last a lifetime without issue. Again, call Vince today for a no-obligation quote at 908-917-7697.
Before we get to the guest, just one more sponsor, and this is a very quick one. It's from our friends over at the FD Collectors Club.
The FD Collectors Club is a monthly subscription service that delivers fire department patches and challenge coins. No more stopping by a firehouse just to find out they're out on a call. Start and grow your collection today.
He's the old school tip of the day, but we'll just move past that, Mike.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
fine.
I jumped again.
We can use that again.
We can use it again. That's fine.
We'll throw it in again.
Yeah. And matter of fact, Vince is sending us a new commercial, so we'll be putting together a new commercial.
No more coefficient.
No coefficient, I don't think. But he's also going to see us down in Harrisburg. He got a booth in Harrisburg, so we're going to hang out with my little buddy. Maybe we could twist his arm a little.
Holy
Maybe he won't do
nice
the loud, you know what I mean?
Guy cramps up.
He cramps up a little bit. All right, Ruff, do it. Do your thing, man. You know how to do it.
All right, you ready?
Yeah. I'm ready. Are you ready?
I was born ready. All right, coming to the stage, Battalion Chief John Newell.
Oh, wrong one. Oh, hold on. Hold on, it's coming. Why is this not working?
What's up, Chief?
It goes together well.
Oh.
How we doing?
We're doing better than Kubla.
I got Gonzo in here. I got my applause. Did the applause go? There we go. Woo!
How are you, brother?
Chief, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm digging that room right there you got there. What is that? Is that the buff room, the man cave? What is that?
That's my wall of flame, like I call it.
His wall of flame. What do you got there? There's a Chief's helmet. There's Looks like your job helmet.
Yeah, my original leather. Couple photos, couple plaques.
That's when they used to come in and measure your dome, right, and fit the helmet to your head.
Yeah.
Back in Ruffy, did you have that, or it was already past that?
No, it's past that point.
Yeah, that's why I put my old man's helmet on. It doesn't come off my head. It's perfect. Fits perfect.
Oh yeah, that's how they used to test it. You had to bend over at your waist and shake around a little bit. If your helmet didn't come off, then it was a good fit.
Mike, you must be getting your helmet fitted all the time then, because I see you doing that all the time.
I was going to lob that one up. But I didn't.
Chief, thank you for that one. You lobbed the one up. I hit it out of the park.
Yeah, right.
Let's get to
let's get patriotic first before we go anywhere.
So that lovely transition. Here we go.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent. And Michael, the old school tip of the day, please.
The word of the day.
Now? Oh,
not the old school tip of the day. I'm sorry. The word of the day.
You talk about me. The word of the day, folks, is Newell Post.
Salute.
Did you go with the JMOs, Chief, or you stuck with the wine?
I switched. I switched over.
Good
Nice.
man.
I got a little Angel Envy working tonight. I'm happy.
Angel Envy. Look at you.
Yeah.
All right, Chief. Let's go back a little bit. Before we actually get to you on the job, we were talking in the pre-show, and you had a little history before you got on the FDNY. But let's go back a little further than that, where you grew up, family life, what got you interested in the fire service, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure, yeah. I grew up out on Long Island in Hale Site, which is in Huntington, right up on the water. And my grandfather and my father were both firemen, volunteers in the Hale Site Fire Department. Hale Site is named after Nathan Hale. The legend is that during the Revolutionary War, he came over as a spy. They rode him over from Connecticut, and he went into New York, and he got captured, and he was hung as a spy.
Nice.
So that's where that.
As they should.
He deserved it.
Today. Yeah, we should start that shit today.
Yeah, really.
You have a great night.
Yeah, so my grandfather was a fireman there, and he was a chief. During World War II, he was the chief of the volleys out there.
Wow.
And then my father came back from World War II. He became a chief there. And
your father in Europe or the Pacific, Chief?
He was in the Pacific, non-combat. He was in the quartermasters in the Army Air Corps, and they took care of the planes, loaded the bombs, and did the maintenance on the planes and everything. And he was actually on a troop ship going for the invasion of Japan. And while they were at sea, they dropped the atom bombs.
Got the big one on him. No need.
Big ones, yeah.
Two big ones. Yep. A little boy and Fat Man.
Yeah, luckily they turned him around, and actually he said they dumped him on Guam. Their whole ship, and they were all dressed. They had all winter operations clothing. They dump them on a tropical island.
Yeah, you guys could use these here.
It still beats invading Japan, bro, because they weren't going to lie down.
Exactly. Yeah. So. So from the time I was a little kid, I was hanging out in the firehouse with him. Every morning or every afternoon, they go down, I have coffee and everything, hanging out. Yeah, I kind of couldn't wait to become a volunteer, and then once I did, I realized that if I could, I'd like to make a career out of it. So
was your father and your grandfather there when you were there, or no?
Yeah, well, my grandfather had become a life member, but he was still alive. I had him for a few years.
Great.
All around, I was 10 years old.
That's great.
So then I made
any jobs with your dad, Chief?
Yeah, absolutely. He was a chauffeur for a long time, and when I was
cool.
a new fireman, he was driving. I was on the back step. And,
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So yeah, he drove for quite a while, and then I took over for some of the chauffeur duties after he was stepping back from.
What are we talking here? Like late 60s, early 70s?
I joined there in 1969, and one big mistake, one regret that I have is I missed the filing for the 70 or 71 test, and I just missed it. I had a friend that was going to hook us up, and we were going to take the test together and everything, and we missed the filing, and so that set me back a little bit.
What were you doing in the meantime? Were you working in school?
I was going to Suffolk Community College, and I did that for a couple of years, and then I was working for some dock builders, marine construction. So I was doing that, but I started looking around, but it was hard. There was no internet. You couldn't just Google like what
fire department jobs. Yeah.
Where can you go? So I called the International in Washington. I just got this friendly guy on there, and he gave me a list of places that he thought we're going to be having tests. So I went up to Providence, Rhode Island, signed up for a test.
Oh, you were hot, man. You were ready to go. You wanted
it.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to do it. Yeah, I really did. Yeah. And then he told me about Fairfax County, Virginia. So he gave me a phone number and everything. I call, I get this guy, Horace Williams. And he's got the old Southern drawl, goes, well, yeah, sorry. We closed the filing, but you know what? Since you called me, I'll make an exception. And,
wow.
That's crazy.
You got the right guy that day, man.
Yeah, loved the phone call, So he gives me a date to come down and take the test. And he says, just when you get there, tell him that I okayed it. And so I went down and I took the written test. And maybe a couple months later, then they notified me to go down for the physical agility. And so I went down for that. And I meet this guy, Dave Guzik, from Pennsylvania. He was up by Scranton's area. And we just hit it off, took the physical agility together. And then we get hired in August of 77. And we were in the same, they called it recruit school. We're in the same class together. And we became really good friends. And, long story short, when the city test came out, we took it. We both came up, and he ended up going to 28 truck and did his whole career at 28 truck.
Shit.
Yeah. So that was a real cool story with
when you were in Fairfax, what were you assigned to? An engine, a truck, or? Yeah,
I was in an engine. It was a great place. It was a growing place. The place was booming, and it was a county fire department. Kind of like if you all watched the old Squad 51 show with LA. It was kind of similar to that. We had ambulances in the firehouse, and almost like if the Nassau County Fire Department
right went
paid,
right.
Very similar to that.
Did you catch any work there?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We were on the old the firehouse. I said we were on the old Route 1 that was the main thoroughfare north and south before 95 was completed, or whatever. And then once 95 opened up, Route 1 kind of deteriorated. So there was a lot of like old motels and old apartment buildings and restaurants, and we got some occasional work and a lot of garden apartments, a lot of fires in garden apartments. Actually, the guys there, they call themselves the South Bronx of Fairfax County.
I was just going to ask, Chief, how many guys were in on that farm?
Came down to visit Paul Hagland, and I took him down to the firehouse because you're not the South Bronx.
Yeah, it's the South Bronx. What? How many guys do you remember? How many guys were on the job? Do you remember how many guys they had total down there? Give or take?
I think at the time they were around 1,100.
All right, so that's pretty big.
It's a pretty big fire department. Even now, it's pretty big.
They're much bigger now. They're probably 1,500 to 1,600 or more now. if you follow things, like they're big on the emergency responses to hurricanes and disasters and stuff like that. But they're very, very progressive, squared away fire department.
Yep.
Yeah, so it gave me a good. Yeah, it was cool.
How much time did you do there?
77. Then we had the written test up here in 77. So Guzik and I came up and took it, and then came back for the physical. And
did you get held up by the lawsuit with the women, or?
Yeah, I think I lost a year on that.
A year.
Yeah, because when the list came out, it started moving pretty quickly. So we moved back up, and that was probably a mistake. I should have stayed there until I actually had the job.
Yeah.
But we moved back up, and then it was like a year. They had a hiring freeze, and then they had the lawsuits with the women's groups.
Well, that was a tough physical, right? I asked all the guys that took that test. That was a very difficult physical.
Yeah. And you know what? Being down there, I didn't have the opportunity to go to the Pudgy Walsh training. And everybody that did well on the physical went to the Pudgy Walsh training.
Oh, no doubt about it. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
If you could beat Pudgy's time.
Oh my God! Do you know how many times guys bring his name up? That guy, Pudgy Walsh.
Oh, everybody talks about him, right?
The Armory, right? Was it the Armory or something in Jamaica?
Yeah, he used to have. Is he still alive, or he passed?
No, he passed away.
He passed away. Yeah.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah, that was a tough physical, though. I mean, we had to pick up like a mail sack that weighed 120 pounds and go up a return stairs, like up, turn, turn around, come back down, and you couldn't drop the thing. You had to set it down under control. We had an obstacle course. You had to go over an 8-foot wall. You had
to hang on the chin-up bar.
Yeah, to hang. That was tough. Yeah. Actually, that was going to be I was going to ace that part because I was light and strong, and so you had to do at least a minute. So I get to a minute, and the proctor goes, "All right, you got your minute." And I tried to reposition a little bit, and I slipped off. So I got the bare minimum on that, but I passed that one.
Right, Mike. I think that mailbag probably weighed more than you, right? You're sitting in a seat tonight. You gotta get it, kid.
I'm catching strays. Yep.
Well, there was a ledge walk in there. You had to walk along a ledge. Like it was a 2x4 on edge against a flat wall.
That's ridiculous, right?
Little Scott on your
What the hell does that do?
But I wasn't familiar with the old Scott because we wore them. So
right.
There was a big buckle on the chest. I just leaned the buckle on the wall and skidded back and forth, and I aced that part of it. A lot of guys wiped them out. They fell off the ledge. But they called it the He-Man test. Oh, we had to run a mile or a mile and a half in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, man.
And that was the last thing that you did.
Imagine you had to get that test today.
Oh, forget it.
Forget it. A lot of people.
Their man buns would get stuck on the ledge.
Yeah. A lot of man bun fatality that he lost.
Was against the physical. Because out of all the women that took the test, none of the women had passed the physical agility. So that was the lawsuit. And I think what they did was they modified it and let the women take it again. Mm-hmm. And it was like kind of a pass-fail type thing. I think that
right.
That let the women, yeah.
Right.
So.
Ain't nothing wrong with being short, brother. Love you, again.
Yeah.
So what you went to the academy in July of 7/11, lucky 7/11 of 81.
7/11 81.
Who was in your class? Any notables besides yourself?
Yeah. Well, Bobby Carberry was in there. Guy was in my platoon, O'Keefe. He went down to I think 35 truck and then to rescue him, but he got killed in 9/11.
Oh, that was
Patty
yeah, from Rescue 1, probably, yeah.
Yeah, and then my buddy EJ Tierney, he stood next to me in the because he had the platoons and he had the squads. So I was in the middle squad. He was on the right squad. Being short, we were next to each other. So.
See, nothing wrong being short, Gabe.
That's right. That's what I met EJ. And Jerry Schrang was in that class. He got killed 9/11, unfortunately. But Jerry and EJ and I all went to 45 engine together from the from the Pro School. So,
all right, so you go to 45 engine, right? Out of Proby school.
Yeah, 45. Yeah.
How'd you get there? Did you make any phone calls or what happened?
Yeah, my buddy Paul Hegland was a fireman in
Hegland.
And Captain Hegland. He knew the Bronx trustee. I think his name was Bella Makula. So Bella pulled the strings and he said, "Yeah, sometime when I'm campaigning, come out and hand out flyers for me or something like that, to pay him back." And but he got me up to 45.
That's the old I scratch your back.
That's the fixer. That's the fixer.
Oh, he called the fixer?
No, that's his. What's his name? Dennis Smith said you got to call the fixer.
You got to call the fixer, right?
Fixer, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You get the 45 engine, right? Now, where is that? That's in?
That's West Farms. It's on East Tremont Avenue by Southern Boulevard.
Right, not too far from Squad 40 or when you 41 engine, right? Are they?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So south. Oh yeah.
Whoa! Look at that
guy with the
Holy
stick.
Christmas!
Wow.
Is that
Chief,
that
you
helmet
believe it?
that's behind you, Chief?
What's that?
Is that the helmet that's behind you? That one?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. See,
Can you believe we used to use those lights, Chief? How funny is that, right?
they didn't light up shit. Nothing.
That's all we had.
That's all we had. Is right. And everybody would take. They would steal. If yours worked and theirs didn't, they would take yours, right?
Yeah, you come in from a 72, and of course your light would be gone.
It was always gone.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Looks good there with the stash, Chief.
Yeah.
All the young people out there, you see how much you age in a few years.
Hold on to that. Look at yourself in the mirror often when you're young. When you look when you're older, it scares the shit out of you.
So, what was your first day
So,
going in there, Chief? What was your first day like?
um,
Do you remember?
yeah. Well, the three of us went up there, EJ and Jerry Schrang and I, and Bobby Borthwick was the lieutenant working that day, and we just hung around for a couple hours. They had quite a few runs. We jumped on a rig, went on a few runs with them, and then I went in. My first tour was a night tour.
Ooh,
and
nice.
so we had one of the first things I went to. There was a frame that they had knocked down with a machine, so it was just a pile of all the lumber, and somebody torched it, and so they're setting up the tower ladder, and the engine chauffeur's fighting with one of the guys from the truck, and they're motherfucking each other, and I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" I thought we put the fire.
Where's the love?
Where's the love? I thought the Bronx they were all lovey-dovey over here.
But that all blew over, and we knocked that down. We were there for a while. A bunch of other runs, and then about 1 o'clock in the morning or so, we had a good job in like a big old H, first two. And,
Wow.
I think I definitely had the door. I was at the door feeding line in, and one of the guys from the truck comes crawling out. He goes coughing. He goes, "Yeah, this sucks, doesn't it?" I'm enjoying it.
It waited long to get on, right? So of course.
Yeah, I was old too, because I missed that test. So I was 30 years old in Proby school.
Were you? Oh, so you were one of the older guys in Proby school.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, there was a lot of 21 and young 20s.
Yeah.
Man, you must have been pumped up though to be standing there.
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody who's come on
engine,
here.
the Eagles, 45.
Dennis Gordon was 45, right? He was 45.
Oh yeah, Dennis Gordon was 45.
He had just gone to 38 truck.
Right, Dennis was there. Chisano was in 45.
Yeah.
I remember. Paulie Solman was in 45. Yeah, all of those guys were in 45.
Who's that?
Paulie Solman, right, was in 45.
Oh yeah, he came later. Yeah, he came around 87 or so. Yeah, he's a good dude.
Paul's a man. I'm trying to get him on the show. I'm trying to get him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'll get him.
He lived right by the squad.
That's
when
right. He
we
lived
were
right
in the
by
squad.
in Maspeth, Middle Village.
Yeah,
He lived in
yeah.
Middle
Yeah, he used to break up
Yeah, he's
all
just
the time.
recently. Yeah, he sold Queens and he's full time in Florida.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Naples now. He's in Naples, I think.
Yeah, I had him come back. We'll talk about it later, probably. But he came back as lieutenant, and I was in the 16th, and we got him the spot 28 truck.
Yeah. I remember that.
That's loved him. He was what a great officer, and he just had so much to offer the guys, and they would, and 28 and 69 drill every single day, but he took them a step higher.
Further, yeah, that's great.
I didn't even know he was in 28 truck. Real
Hell
quick.
yeah! Before he went back to rescue.
Oh, I was gonna say he went back to rescue, though, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
who were the guys? Who were the officers there when you were there, Chief?
Oh man, great boss. Well, the captain was an old timer, Joe Schneider, and he had me well up in his 50s, and I was wondering why he was there, because we were running like crazy, like with ERS boxes and fires and stuff. But he was a tough old school guy, he was good. But Jack Main was there. Wacky Jack was lieutenant.
All the Jacks are wacky, right?
Well, Jack Main, he was great.
Wasn't he the Queensboro commander, Jack Main? That one?
No, that was Maine's. That was
Maine's. Right.
No, Jack Main was from 31 truck. And,
wow.
From the war years,
Yeah. That's why he's wacky. He was a 31 truck in the 70s. Holy shit.
He came on the job in 1957.
Oh my
wow.
God. Yeah. So he had 25 years or so,
God bless him.
But he loved new guys. He loved it, and there was 3 guys in the class before me: Dennis Devlin, Jerry Hart, and can't think of the other guy, but I will. But then when we got there, EJ and me and Jerry Shrang, and then right after us, Big Mac came to the firehouse. Jimmy McCluskey.
That's another guy whose name comes up all the time, bro.
I forgot to mention.
Jimmy McCluskey is great.
Him and his giant hands, right?
Oh yeah.
Sausage fingers.
One of the strongest guys.
Yeah, he was a sandhog, for God's sakes.
All right, he was a sandhog.
Yeah, well, and Dennis Devlin was a sandhog also.
So you got all those young guys, Chief, in such a short time there, huh? That was a big influx of young guys there, right?
Yeah, that was it. It was a constant. Every class we got a couple of guys. So Jack Main loved that, because he loved probies. He loved teaching us, and he would take
good
us
for the
out.
firehouse. It really is good. It brings everybody back. People can get stale if you don't get new blood.
Yeah, it rejuvenates the firehouse when you get young guys in there, man.
Yeah. But he was such a character.
How busy was it there? Was it it wasn't unheard of to go to multiple jobs in a night tour, right? Like you were.
Yeah, I think the first year I was there, we did like 5,000 runs. But
wow,
a couple of years before that, they had been number one. They had done 7,000 runs.
Wow, 7,000 runs.
That's without EMS.
That's without EMS. Can you imagine if they had EMS back then, Roof? They'd all be doing way over 10,000.
Craig Book was there, right, Chief?
ERS was terrible.
Craig Buchari, he was in your place too, right?
Craig? Yeah, he came a little bit after I got there. Yeah. The
Buchari,
yeah.
Trying to get him on too.
He would be great. He's a character. He really is.
What does that say? Go back to that. What did he just write? You haven't lived until you watch Wacky Jack do the backstroke down a flaming hallway with his pea coat. What the hell does that mean?
And Wacky Jack, he didn't want anybody else driving the rig other than somebody from 45.
Yeah.
So he goes, "Hey, John," he goes, you drive when you were down in Fairfax? I go, "Yeah." He goes, "All right." So now, as a probie, if we didn't have a chauffeur, he had me driving, So that was unheard of.
Pressure there, right?
But, but he taught me how to be a good MPO. And
was that the green rig, Chief?
Yeah. Well, we still had the old rapid water rig.
Oh, nice. That didn't work.
With the sperm on it.
Mikey, we got a picture. Mikey, we got a picture of that. The one in the front. When he was
25?
in his younger days, yeah.
Let's see.
They were all standing in front of the rig there.
Yep. Sorry. Looking forward here. Stand by for that. I believe it's this one, right?
Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah.
Well, who are those guys, Chief?
Yeah, the guys. Well, that's Captain Schneider. Tommy Dunn's in the middle. He was one of the senior guys, and the guy on the right is Cliff Bonish, and he did 24 years on the back step during the war up there.
Wow!
What a nice man. He came on the job in 1960, and when he was at Proby School, they had the Constellation fire in the Brooklyn Navy Yard.
Yeah, 1960, right? Yeah.
And they bust him down from the Proby School to help to remove the bodies of the poor workmen that had gotten killed there.
Wow.
He was. Yeah. So then on the left, on the bottom is a guy Reyes. He was a Vietnam vet, and then me, and then Eddie McHugh on the right there.
Wow.
Did you have a lot of vets, Chief, when you got when you were there? Do you remember?
Yeah, quite a few. Yeah. One guy in the truck, one guy in 58, Frank Curtin, was a Vietnam vet. He was the BAR guy. We called him the Bear. He was a gigantic man, and he was definitely a Vietnam vet.
He didn't have a necklace of all Vietnam ears that he sliced off, did he, by any chance? That was
They didn't mention.
They don't really talk about that, Coach. The BAR, the Browning.
Like our chauffeurs, like John Koski, he used to write the column in the WNYF, the All Hands column.
Yeah.
For many, many years. If you look back at the old issues, it was always John Koski from E45. He came on in like 57 or something like that.
Wow.
Then we had Ray Bermudez probably around the same time. Vic Cantelmo. These guys had a lot of time. The guys that were
and a busy place like that too. That much
yeah,
time,
right.
Man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And they went from
the dog years.
Yeah.
But they went from single engine in a nice Jewish and Italian neighborhood to shit hitting the fan, and they had no truck, so they had to wait for either 31 to come up or 38 to come down or 27. So they had a second section in 27-2, and then when they disbanded them, they had built a new firehouse next to 45's quarters, and 27-2 became 58 truck.
What year was that, Chief?
I think around 74. 72
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they built you a new firehouse. I knew that. You guys went in there.
Yeah, well, 45 was still in the old quarters, and then the Chief and 58 were in the new quarters.
Wow.
But they used to be a 6-man engine, and they, of course, they always carried their own irons. And but when things started really getting busy, they were still on their own for a long time until the truck had to help them out.
When you first got there, were you riding the back step or no? That was done.
Yeah, we still were a little bit. Yeah. Especially with Jack Maine, he didn't care.
Wacky Jack.
Wacky Jack. But his chauffeur was Vic Cantelmo, and we always called him Vic the Quick.
Nice.
He really drove fast. So.
I love it.
Oh, Louis loves that. He's used to that from 90.
Drive fast, take chances.
Drive fast, take chances.
Did you get to work across the floor at all, Chief, in the truck?
Yeah, actually, the first night tour I worked, I had that job, and then the next day I worked overtime in the truck, and then we had a vacant building fire, and
2 jobs the first 24.
Yeah,
right.
And we came out of Proby School. We had those silly freaking moon helmets.
Yeah, right. The yellow ones or whatever. Yeah.
No, they were black, but they looked like a salad bowl on your head,
Because the city didn't have no money, right, or something like the guys were talking about.
No, because we had 300 guys in the class, and Carnes couldn't put out the helmets fast enough.
Yeah. That's what they were talking about.
Custom fitted ones.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Right.
So we had you
had the Darth helmets, like the
We go to this vacant building fire, and Terry Roach is the captain of the truck, and it's all knocked down. And he goes, "All right, John, come over here and pull these ceilings. Come over here, pull these ceilings. So then one of the guys from 38 truck comes down, Bobby White, and he says, "Hey, Cap, how you doing?" He goes, he looks at me, he goes, "What the fuck is that thing on your head?"
We're making lasagna and salad tonight. We got to make some of the salad.
So, and his buddy was EJ. EJ and him grew up, I think, in Inwood. So he was just breaking my chops a little bit. But
Did you have any jobs where you had to go around a Newell post?
Oh, salute. Who was calling you that, Chief? How'd you get that name?
Well, his name is Newell.
No, I know that.
Some of the guys in 45, 58 were calling me that. And then when I got over to Harlem, this guy K9 in 30 truck, he always called me Newell Post. So he got now.
It wasn't because you were standing still a lot, was it?
Was that?
I said it wasn't because you were standing still a lot, was it?
No.
Wow, look, he's firing shots. Look at that.
Just saying.
Any other memorable jobs at 45 before we go to the transfer?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's see. One time we had a furniture store. It was like on a Saturday afternoon on Tremont Avenue. East Tremont Avenue was heavy commercial, and even though a lot of stuff was vacant on the side streets, East Tremont Avenue was pretty viable commercial area, you know. And we had this furniture store, and by that time Jack Main had transferred to 38 truck, so I'm pretty sure he was there. And Jacob Jenkins was our lieutenant. So we're taking a 2.5 in this store. You know, they knocked out the front store windows. We're going in, a lot of fire, and we're moving in, and the chief is going, all right, 45 back out, and I think 88 had a line back out. And, of course, we're not backing out. And now the chief's getting adamant, back out. So finally we back out. Well, it turns out he knew that there was a gigantic mezzanine, like the whole second part of the store. And that thing came down like maybe a minute or so after we backed out. So I put that in my head.
When you became a chief.
When the chief says back out.
Away.
Yeah, when the chief says back out.
How many times did you get lucky, right, Chief, over the years? Like, how many times have you seen something like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't remember who the chief was, but he knew something about that place, and it was a huge place, So then we backed out, and then it was, tower ladders.
Did you have the job? I don't have the timeline in front of me. Did you have the job in the social club?
No, I had gotten promoted like a couple of months before that.
All right, yeah.
And I was working in 36 truck that night in Inwood, and we didn't hear anything all night because it never went to a multiple, so they never announced it over the voice alarm. So we had a couple of runs during the night. We didn't know anything was going on, and in the morning there was this guy in 36 truck, Vernon David, and he had kind of a high voice, and he comes in the morning and he's going, Lou, 87 people died. And I'm going, what? He's going, 87 people died in the Bronx. I'm going, you sure it wasn't like 8 or 7? No, 87 people. Turn on the TV. And sure enough. So we were working, but we didn't hear a single thing about it.
Really?
Yeah, and right over in Inwood, right across from the Bronx.
Yeah. I know Paulie had that. He had the nozzle for that job.
He was the nozzle man on that. Yeah. I mean, all my guys that I worked with were on that fire, But
that's crazy, man. Still to this day.
Yeah, 87 people. It's
in a little bullshit building. You know what I mean? Like it's really
sad. Yeah, and a little bit of gasoline and a little bit of revenge or whatever that guy was looking for.
Yeah.
Jilted lover.
Terrible. Yeah. So we had a couple other interesting fires that I remember. One time, same again on East Tremont Avenue, the other side of the street. We pull out of quarters and you look down Tremont Avenue and it's banked down. So all right, we definitely got a job here to store. And So we get there and we're stretching the line, and all of a sudden there's a guy behind the roll-up gate banging on the gate. Get me out! Get me out! Get me
Locked
out!
in. Yeah, they lock him in.
He's locked in there. So Paul Heglin comes by with the saw. He cuts the big triangle, and Lieutenant Sedario reaches in and pulls this guy out. He looked like chopped meat. And there's a couple of police officers standing there. The one cop grabs him. He goes, "Oh, I think we got the perpetrator." What happened was these two guys, they were robbing the place. They went in through the roof, and they robbed the place, and then they were going to torch it. And the one guy went up and dropped the match on whatever they spread around.
Missed it by that much.
Yeah.
He didn't ask if his buddy was out of there.
So he made his roll-up gates, banging on the gates, and
That's awesome.
there he was.
Ruffy, if we ever decide to rob something, I'll make sure you're not in there, bro, when I drop the match.
Yeah.
All right? Yeah.
Make sure we're both on the roof before you throw the match.
Ruff, where are you?
Oh, shit, that's bad.
No love there.
When did
A
you?
lot of taxpayer fires.
I was going to ask you that too, actually.
On Tremont, and well, actually, a lot of them weren't taxpayers; they were stores underneath apartment buildings. You know?
Yeah.
And we did have a lot of taxpayers.
Did you at that time was 41 an enhanced engine yet, or you were gone before? But by the time that happened,
Yeah, they became an enhanced engine when I got over to the 69 engine.
oh, okay, so not when you were in 45,
Yeah, this was way before that. Yeah, this was like in the early 80s. I was in 45 engine.
right?
When did you start to think about going to the truck? Were you always thinking about it, or?
Yeah, after a few years, you know. So, like I said, I was 30 when I got on, so I said, well, I'm gonna have to, if I want to make boss, I'm gonna have to start studying maybe earlier than normal. And yeah, after like 3 or 4 years,
It's a natural progression, anyway. I mean,
yeah. And then the captain of the truck at the time was Tony Citro, and you know, he said to me, "Yeah, hey, you want to come over to the truck?" You know, he says, "Yeah." She says, "You're welcome. Put your paper in, whatever." You know, so I waited until around 84 and put it in, and then I went over there in 85. But I have one more taxpayer fire to tell you about. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
We had a lot going on with like numbers joints were getting torched, and then they were blowing up numbers joints, and something had come out in the WNYF, I think, about pipe bombs, and they were putting like devices in it, so like if you picked it up, it would detonate the thing, you know.
Oh shit.
So we get this taxpayer fire, and we thought it was caused from an explosion. So the truck chauffeur, this guy Richie DeCola, freaking great senior guy, he finds a pipe bomb, and he picks it up, and he brings it over to Chief Short. He goes, "Hey, Chief,
look what I found."
Chief's going, "Rich, put the bomb down." And he goes, "No, it's a dud. Look, there's nothing wrong." And he's going, "Rich, put the bomb down." Look, it wasn't one with the tilt device in it, you know.
Thank God.
You know what the thank God is? Thank God for civil service. Thank
That guy, yeah.
Holy Christ.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought you were gonna, I remember sometime they took some of that, they were taking stuff back to the firehouse too. Like they were doing like,
Oh
crazy,
yeah,
you
we've heard
know,
stories
like
about
always
that.
crazy shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But can you imagine the Chief's face? Can you imagine you, Chief, if somebody brought like even now, like a pipe bomb up to you? Like, what the fuck?
No, it's a dud. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's a dud. I'm sure it's a dud. Oh my God Almighty!
But as Richie
make it up.
DeCola, he was like one of the, probably the senior guy working, senior guy in the company. I think he came on around 1970. Premier by far ball breaker.
Really?
And he was the best. I loved it when he was working. He was so funny. And a great chef. He made good food.
Was that a rough kitchen table there?
Yeah. We had two though. 45, since it was a separate quarters, they still had their kitchen. 58 still had theirs, and they wanted to break it through, but Captain Schneider, he was an old timer in the engine. He didn't want to break through to the truck side.
Yeah.
So it stayed with two kitchens until after he retired, and then I think when Jimmy Skarkas was there as the captain in 45, I think they broke it through and they made it real nice. Opened the whole thing up.
So you guys used to eat separately and stuff?
Yeah, because
Really?
both only would seat like 6 or 8 guys.
Yeah. That was 117 and 263 as well. There was only one table on each thing, so you could only sit.
Yeah. And actually 88 and 38 were like that too. They had 2 separate kitchens and 2 separate eating areas.
Fire service segregation.
Yeah.
What's that?
Fire service segregation.
Yeah.
What year did they break down the 117s, Roof?
After I left, probably around 2000-ish, maybe a little later.
So you guys used to eat by yourselves too? Without the engine?
Oh yeah, I mean, I used to eat, but with the engine once in a while. But like the chief was saying, the old timers in 117, they would absolutely come to the engine, pick up their plate, and go back to the truck side and eat.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just how it was. When I worked there, I never felt anything different until I started going on details, obviously,
right,
and realized that that's generally not how it works.
I thought that they cooked their own meals and stuff too.
No.
Okay.
No, we would cook one meal, but the way it was set up, it was seating in the 2 different kitchens.
But what about 124, Ruff? Did they cook separate meals too? Because that was a big house of.
Those guys might have cooked separate meals because there was no way. The only way to go from one house to the other, I'm 99% sure, was you had to go out the front door, the apparatus floor, the apparatus door, and go around. Like in 117, there was a couple of doorways on the first
like in
floor,
the middle, right behind the house watch. Right, there was one.
Correct. Well, right behind the stair going up, there was one. But I think in 124, Patty Lee would know better. But yeah, he said they cook separate meals.
You should never break down the wall.
What did he say?
I did a couple.
You should never break down the wall.
He should never break down the wall. He's an old 117, my old 117 boss.
I did a couple of vacations in 117 for was it Captain Coward?
Yeah. Chief Coward. That was Mike Coward.
Coward, right? Yeah. I did his station twice out there. Yeah.
I thought you were getting him, Ruff.
So I'm working on him. I might have worked with you, Chief. I was there. I got there 93.
Yeah, it was late 97, 98 maybe.
Yeah, so I was there 93 to 98. I went to the squad after that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
And he was in my group, so I probably did work with you.
Yeah.
Oh, Patty Lee?
So I used to go over to 88, 30 all the time. I don't know, because we had just battalion-wide detailing at the time, at battalion-wide overtime. And that place was unbelievable. I mean.
Oh, that was a museum. Oh, my God. One of the nicest firehouses ever.
Great senior guys, great officers.
Beautiful place. Clean.
Yeah. One of the first things that impressed me, I worked there a night tour. You go upstairs, and they had the old toilets with the tank up at the ceiling.
With the pull chain?
And brass
I remember that. I worked there a few times.
Brass tight wall polished up, and you had to pull the chain.
Coobs, every piece of brass in that firehouse is spotless.
Oh, isn't that
that's how it was.
Tim Kelly was there, right?
He was.
Yeah.
Timmy Kelly, yeah. I worked quite a few tours with him. As a matter of fact, one night, Timmy was a probie. I think he was in a class before me. So we're both probies, and Timmy Gallagher's working, tough Timmy. And we're in the engine, and run after run after run. We get off with our masks on. Timmy goes, keep those things on the rig. I'll tell you when you need your mask, Okay, Cap. Next run, we got like 3 frames going. I said, I think I'll bring my mask.
That's another guy we hear a lot about, Tough Timmy, right, dude?
Yeah, his name comes up a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Timmy's good dude. Yeah. I worked with him a lot. Brian Hickey.
Is he still around, Tough Timmy?
No, I think
Timmy Gallagher? No, he passed away.
No, he passed away. I remember that.
See, that's why we got to get these guys, Ruff. We got to get their stories.
Yeah, he passed away. Yeah, he loved me when I was in 45 engine, and then when I went to 58 truck and I went over there in a detail, he didn't want anything to do with me.
All right.
Yeah. Nice.
Trader.
Man has his morals, you know.
They had some unbelievable senior guys over there, though, and every one of them, without exception, will go out of their way to help you. You know, as a new firefighter, and you know, one better than the next. You know?
Right. So you go to 58, right? And how long are you there for? You're there. You're there for 7 years, huh?
No, 58. No, I was in 45 for 4 years, and then 58 for 5 years.
Oh, okay. What am I looking at here? Oh, all right. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
So you catch any good work in 58? I'm sure
what's
you
this
did.
job?
Yeah, actually, this is Captain Citro got a nice medal, and I'm all the way dead center in the back there.
I see the stash.
And, I was at the job, and I went around, and there was a guy and his kid hanging out a window, and so I had the OV. I got up to the roof. Benny Maggio was up there, and we tied off. He tied me off. I was on the ledge going over, and Chief Downey said they got him from the inside. So Captain Citro went in, and he got these two people out before the line was up there in place.
He grabbed that metal right out of your hands, is what he did.
Yeah. So
what was this? The era of mustaches? There's not one guy in his photo.
The 80s. You had a mustache in the 80s.
A good point.
Everybody had a mustache or a wannabe mustache.
In the 80s, that's all we had. I can't even believe I had that thing on my face for so long.
Holy shit.
And now this was we went out to the Rock to get our belts. So that was we all got our new belts that day.
Mac.
And the training. Now Mac is there. He was on light duty out there because he had a job where he fell through the roof with the saw, and he cut himself down to the bone.
Oh, he told us that. I remember that story.
Yeah. So he was on his way to recovery. So we were out there for the day, and he's standing next to Lieutenant Biddles. He was a 31 truck guy. Really great officer. So yeah, that was the day we went out to get fitted and trained with the belts, which they eventually took away from us, as we all know. Right?
Yeah. Was that always a towel out of 58?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, Captain Citro was there. He was the best. He was big, tall, thin guy, Brooklyn guy. I always get confused because I don't know Brooklyn. I always get confused with 174, 175, and 176. But I think he was 175. Was that
either one? Any one of them, Chief? It would be the shit.
That's a Tilla. They were a Tilla.
He worked out there with Terry Roach as a fireman, and then Terry Roach was the captain of 58, and then he was going to get promoted, so he got Captain Citro up there. Everybody loved him. He was tough fire officer, and always stood up for the guys, no matter what.
Good.
He always stood up for the guys. You know,
Mikey, there's that picture with the
grab?
Chief. Yes, the grab there. Yeah.
Yep. Here we are.
So tell us about this a little bit here. What's going on here?
It was like a Sunday afternoon, and we got a report of people trapped, and I had the OV. I go around the back, and there's a woman like in the little bathroom window on an upper floor. So I run back out, and I think Danny Monahan, who's on the left side of the picture there, he had already transferred to 38 truck, but he was detailed to us for the day. Him and I think Jack Urbino, we put a 35 foot up in the rear, and I went up, and I realized I'm not going to get her out of the window. I was going to give her my mask just until they got her from the inside, and then she fell back down. So I slid back down the ladder. We rolled it over to the next window, and I went up and went in that window. And then Mac and somebody else got her from the inside, and then we ended up. I mean,
Bring her out of there.
It doesn't look very kosher, but we had her in like a bedspread or something like that,
Right.
carrying her out to EMS.
Did she make it?
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she
Great
made
job, man.
Is that McCluskey right next to you there?
Yeah, that's Jimmy on my right.
Okay.
I mean, on right of the picture. Yeah. Yeah, he found her with another guy from the truck. And Frank Donnelly was the boss.
Great picture.
And Matty Ryan was working in the engine. And Matty got killed on that.
That was my brother's 24 partner.
He ended up becoming a battalion chief, right, Chief?
He was in the 4th Battalion.
Yeah. 4th Battalion, yeah. What a great guy, Matty.
Yep.
We were hoping to get him there, and then he ended up going to 43 engine as a lieutenant.
Yep.
And super
Tough
duty.
break, man. Right? He worked that part of the 24, and my brother survived, and he didn't. So
Yeah.
it's the way it is. And I think he was alive for a while too. Weren't they talking to him?
To
You're
Matty,
thinking about Chief Prunty.
What's
I'm not
that?
sure.
You're thinking about Chief Richard Prunty. He was alive for a while, but
Oh
unfortunately,
yeah. I think Prunty, right? They were
Maybe
talking.
you are right, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah, but I had some great bosses here. Frank Donnelly. Before he got there, Ralph Tizo was covering in 45, and then he got the spot in 58. I loved Ralph Tizo.
He was a 45, 58 guy too, huh? Oh my God.
Yeah. He covered in 45, and then he got the spot in 58.
I tried to get him on the show. He won't come on, I don't think.
Oh no.
Ralph? Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna give him another tickle, but I don't know.
Yeah, he's great. I think, I always say that I try to take good points from good officers.
Every guy, yeah, no doubt.
And he's, without a doubt, he's one of the ones that I really thought of as a mentor, and he was my height, so.
Chief, you took that right out of my mouth. That was right there.
I was coming over to the truck. I said, I'm not that tall. He goes, don't worry about it. He goes, you get a fire in the taxpayer, you jump up on the bar and pull ceilings,
Yeah. It's funny you talk about Captain Tiso. So when he was in Rescue 3, my cousin, my mother's cousin, so she was older than me, obviously. They were best friends. Her and her husband were best friends with the captain and his wife. So when she knew I was on the job, I had about, 5 years on the job, whatever at the time. And she's like, you should go talk to Ralph. I told him you're going to come talk to him, So, so I called him up. I ended up going to talk to him. And he said to me, he was great. Like you said, he was just perfect. He's like, listen, Lou, you could come here. There's no doubt, but you're going to need more time. You got to do it, get to 10, maybe 12. Yeah. And then, you come back and, so he was real deal. You know what I mean? He knew the deal.
When he was in 3?
Yeah, he was in 3.
Oh, you never told me that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ended up, he went over to 33 truck. A couple guys went with him. Booch went with him. EJ went over to 33 truck, EJ Tierney. And Jerry Schrang, he went over there. And Tony Serra, he was in 45 and 58. All those guys went, because we were still getting work, but 33 was getting a lot of work. So
yeah. I had my paper in to go there too, Chief. I was chasing it everywhere I could go. I was chasing it. I went to see Captain Finnemore.
Like I said, we were getting decent work, but they were getting a lot of work.
I went to see Captain Finnemore.
Oh yeah. I remember him. Yeah, his son came to 69 engine when I was there.
Is that right? Yeah.
Worked with us for years. Yeah, Mike. Yeah.
All right, so you do something silly, you go study and get promoted, right? In 1990, right?
Right.
And you get assigned covering Battalion 16th after flips.
Right.
And then how do you wind up a UFO in 69?
Mm-hmm.
Well, but before I got over to the 16th, Frankie Donnelly was still a boss in 58 truck. He goes, "Where are you going to go?" I said, "Well, I'm looking to go over to Harlem, like the 25 Battalion and 16th Battalion." He goes, "Oh, the 16th." He goes, "You'll love that." And I go, "Why is that?" He goes, "It's like the Dodge City Fire Department." I said, what do you mean? He goes, but I still think it's 1960 over there.
Oh, God.
All right, that sounds good.
That's just my style.
He had covered through there for quite a while, you know. So so I ended up getting assigned to the 16th.
Wow, that's great.
From Flips, and we were in the 5th Division at that time, which went from like 100th Street all the way to the tip of Inwood. So 5th Division was great, you know. You had good companies north to south, you know. So I ended up, I had a UFO spot in 36 truck for a couple of months, and I relieved Vinny Leahy. Vinny was from 33 truck as a fireman. He wanted to go to 28. So he did his couple of months, and then they put him UFO in 28. So now I'm up in 36, and night after night after night, I'm hearing 1075, 1613,
1246, 1642, 14. You know, like all the 1200 boxes, right? The 1400 boxes. Holy
my God! I said, holy shit! They do a lot of work down there. So I did my couple of months, and I'm not sure if the guy came back or whatever, but Joe Flanagan was a lieutenant in his 69 engine. He was from 38 truck, so I knew him. And Neil McBride, the deputy in the 5th, used to be his captain in 38 truck. So Joe says, what are you doing? And I said, I'm finished up here. He goes, all right, you're coming to 69 engine. I said, all right. So he calls up the Chief McBride. He goes, hey, Neil, baby. Neil's covering. And the chief goes, okay, Joe. Joe calls me back. It's all right. You're coming to 69.
And that was it.
So, that was it. It was
what
great.
year was that, Coob?
That was 1990.
So
90,
Chief,
yeah.
I say this all the time. When I got on the job, I got on May 93. And again, I didn't know much about the job I was learning. And I remember, you know, obviously the guys would go up to bed at whatever, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. And I would sit in the kitchen and I would listen to the radio and I would have it on scan. And I'm not kidding. I mean, I've said this a couple of times on the job, on the show. Manhattan, all hands going to work, box 1246. All hands going to work, box 11, you know, 146, 16, 15. I mean, all of the 1,000, right? I mean, if I had it a nickel for every time I heard a 1,200 box, a 1,400 box, a 1,600 box, you know, 1,100 box, whatever those boxes were, I knew them because I knew the companies that were going to, you know, 1,300 box. It was just, and I tried to look up the boxes because it was just nonstop all night. And that was in 93.
Oh,
like, what the heck were they doing?
It was the crack time. Before I left 58, we were standing out front of quarters one night, and this guy, Jimmy Cintron, in the engine, he points to the ground. He goes, you see that thing there, John? I said, what? He goes, that little plastic thing? Yeah. He goes, that's a crack file. He goes, that's going to ruin the city. This was like around maybe 88 or so, 88 or 89. Wow. And sure enough, the crack took over and the city went in the sewer.
Crack is whack. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, people were shooting their grandmother for $5 to get another hit. You know, it was crazy. It was crazy.
If there was a job in Manhattan, it was 1,000 or higher. I mean, I don't remember all the boxes, but I remember 1,200 boxes. What were your boxes there, Chief? You remember your boxes?
We were mainly 15 and 1600s.
Yeah, 15, 16, 1,200, you know, whatever they were. That was the 12th Battalion, right?
We were the 16th.
No, I'm saying the 12th Battalion was lower, right?
They were like the 1,300 boxes, I think, 13 or 14.
Non-stop.
Yeah. I mean, I walked into a 69 engine for a night tour, my first night tour. I relieved Richie Killian, who, by the way, was one of the senior guys in 58 truck when I was there.
Of course.
And now he's a lieutenant. Pat Welby was the captain of 69 engine. He was lieutenant in 38 truck. And then Joe Flanagan, you know, from 38 truck. So I walk in the door, I relieve Rich. Okay, have a good night. Out the door we go, second alarm, right? My first run with a 69 engine. And I couldn't believe the amount of work that these guys are doing. And I mentioned my friend Dave Guzik from Fairfax that had come up, and he went to 69 and into 28. And we were doing construction on the side for a while. And a lot of mornings he'd be late, or he couldn't make it because he was all beat up. And I said, "What the hell's going on?" He said, "Oh, I had another fire." Oh, every time I talked to him, he had like another fire or 2 fires that night to work. I can't believe that you guys are doing that much work. And,
so now you guys were in the same firehouse together too. Now I just realized.
Yeah, that was great. So now I'm over there. I said, "Oh my God, I can't believe the amount of fires that's going on." Great bosses. I knew Nick Visconti because he was the captain of 48 engine. I knew Bernie Cassidy was the captain of 37 truck, but he used to come down and ABC with us. Tom Kennedy was the captain of 56 truck. So the 3 of them were the chiefs there, and the battalion commander I didn't know was Frank Griffin, who was a legend, himself. So great chiefs and great officers were already there. When I got there.
Every guy that I knew, Chief, that went from my class that went up there. Guys went to 58 engine, Bobby Canale, all these guys, right?
Bobby Canale, one of my favorite guys from 58, but I'll get to him later.
He was in my probate class, very good friend of mine.
Wow.
But all those guys, when they talked about what it was like up there, they talk about the chiefs, right? They talked about how the job was like, not how they went to fires, but it was just laid back on stuff that maybe quote unquote didn't matter, right? So much as opposed to maybe how it was going on in other parts of the city, and that was one of the things that everybody talked about in Harlem, and why it was such a big draw is because everybody was on the same page, right? The guys took care of the bosses, the bosses took care of the guys, the chiefs took care of everybody, and everybody took care of the chief. If the chief wanted something, it was getting done, but he wasn't going to break your balls about nonsense, and everything was taken care of, and I think that was what people wanted to go to that area, because not only was there work, but it was really a family. And like you just said, you knew this guy was from here, from there, and everybody stayed there, just bounced around at different firehouses, and everybody stayed there.
It was amazing how many guys from the Bronx went to Harlem and how many Harlem guys went to the Bronx.
Right.
And there was a courtesy there too that was unbelievable.
That's a good word. Yeah.
like what in 69 when we went out onto 7th Avenue to go south, 59 would come out of their quarters and come out onto Lenox and go north, and some we would be going to the same box again. But if they were a little bit ahead of us, they would wait and let us go in, or vice versa. If we were a little ahead of them, but it was their box, we would just wait and let them go in. And the truck's the same way,
Well, just like Brooklyn, right, Ruff?
Yeah, only different.
Yeah.
But
I could see it. I mean, you know what it was? You guys had such a small area too, right? I mean, it's incredible how much work you guys did for your first new area, right? It's only a couple of blocks long and a couple of blocks wide, right? I mean, in the whole scheme of things. And
it's a small area, but it's all 6-story,
right? It's
7-story, old laws and H's. And then some of these buildings they called 7th Avenue H's. They were like the big 7-story with the wraparound elevators. And then a lot of projects too, where they had knocked down buildings. But there was a tremendous amount of people.
Right. Occupied. Yeah. It's all occupied.
Yeah. So
who do we have from there, Rufy? Who was the guy that came on a boat trip this year? Who, when we first met him, he was faced this way the whole time. What was his name again?
Oh, that was from 28. What's his name?
Shit.
The old timer from 28 truck.
McGinnis?
McGinnis.
Yes.
Yeah.
McGinnis.
Yeah.
Oh, what a character. What a tough old school fireman. Tough as nails. I only got to work with him for about a year because I got there in 90 and I worked with him for a little bit. I think he retired maybe 90 or 91. He got hurt at a job. but
yeah, and you could tell he's no nonsense. Even now, he's still,
oh my God, no nonsense.
Funny, dry.
He had some funny stories. And he was telling a story about the dog, right?
That was one of my favorite
put the
stories.
Dog in the seat, and they taped his arms to the steering
wheel.
They
taped his dog to the steering wheel of one of the guys. Oh my God, so funny.
Oh, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah.
We had a dog that got killed.
That was the one.
The one that they hit by the
yes, that was the one. Yes,
they put it in McGinnis's car. And they taped the paws to the steering wheel
to it like it was driving.
I didn't know that part, but this kid, we used to get details that wanted to come up to the area to work, so they would come up and drive the chief for 6 months or so. So this kid from Brooklyn came up, and he always backed the rig in the chief's car too fast. And the dog, when we came back from a run, he would always come out hopping around, and his name was Poacher. And the kid hit the dog, So
maybe
now they got the chalk line on the floor around.
I think this was.
I didn't hear the part about him getting taped to his.
No, I think it was a different dog, Chief. It was. I think this was a stray. Yeah, I think it was a stray because it stunk really bad. I think too. He said.
Yeah, I don't know. We have to call him up.
Yeah,
it was really cold. It was freezing cold night, and we went out looking, figuring that the dog got hit and ran. We went out. We looked all over the neighborhood. We couldn't find him. The next morning, sanitation knocks at the door, and it's a sanitation woman. She goes, "Hey, we found your dog. I threw him in the dumpster."
He's frozen.
Dead.
Oh, and this guy Billy Lazaro, God rest his soul, he passed away too. But he was devastated because he kind of took care of
the dog. There's always one guy or two guys, right, that takes care of the dog.
Yeah, Billy loved that dog.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Who was? I wanted to ask you this before. Who did you study with? Who was your main guys that you had the same study group throughout, or no?
For lieutenant and captain, yes, we had Kerry Hollywood from 58 Truck, Dennis Devlin, myself, Bob O'Rourke, and Steve Lamont. And Steve Lamont, a very sharp guy, he got the highest on the list, and he made the lieutenant, but he didn't really study for captain that much. Bob O'Rourke made lieutenant. I made lieutenant. Dennis made lieutenant, and then Dennis really took off, and he made captain really quickly, and then he made chief really quickly. Yeah, he really got into the books. But we stuck together for lieutenant and captain. Chief, I pretty much I studied on my own, and then Mike Dugan was studying with us, but he wasn't going to make captain in time to take the chief's test. And guy from 43 Chuck, I got to remember his name, big giant guy. He studied with us, and Frank Mannion, who ended up in the 17th Battalion. I'll have to think of the guy's name. He'll smack me in the head when he sees me.
I was gonna be, how could you forget me, you son of a bitch?
But he made chief too.
Did you know how far you wanted to go, or what you just figured you'd start studying?
I was going to stay as captain, and then I said, yeah, let me give it a shot. And Bobby Nagel, who was one of my lieutenants, he got killed in 9/11. He loved 58 engine, and he's going, "What are you studying for? You're in the best firehouse in the city, But I gave it a shot, and I did really well. I ended up like 67 on the list. So out of all the 3 lists, I think that's the best I did relative,
Right.
You
You have any kids on the job, Chief?
No, I have 3 girls.
All right.
You gotta leave your socks on, Chief.
What's that?
I got 2 girls. Everybody should tell me you got to leave your socks on when you're
socks
fooling
on.
around.
Oh, is that what it is?
I never heard of that.
I said I wasn't going to try for 3 because I knew it was going to be the same thing. So
yeah,
well, leave the socks on already.
I don't know.
What is that supposed to do?
I don't know.
It gets you the boy. I don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully.
I don't know. I've got 3 boys. I don't remember leaving my socks on. But all right. None of them want to be firemen, but all right. So how long did you spend at 69 then, Chief? You there?
I was there 7 years.
7 years.
Wow.
You get promoted in '97. That's a lot of fire duty, man.
Yeah.
Look at that front of that firehouse, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great quarters. Great history too.
The guy did like I think he took a picture of it and then made it into like a watercolor.
Yeah. Nice.
Beautiful job, you know. Yeah.
Wow. Look at that firehouse, man.
Oh, there's Timmy Klett.
My man Timmy Klett.
Oh, there he is. I think he's in the chat, Timmy Clitoris.
He came up from 47 engine, and great guy, enthusiastic. You know, loved everything about the job. Great fireman. He's still out on the circuit teaching.
Yeah, he's still teaching.
Yeah.
The guy next to me, the chauffeur, that's Patty Moran. I could give a shout out to him. He got Lou Gehrig's disease and passed away while he was still active.
Really? Oh, that was quick, huh?
Yeah. It was scary how fast it overtook him. You know, character out of a book. Patty Moran, very funny guy. We used to go to a multiple, and he would be driving, and if they didn't need an engine to be hooked up, he would go hide someplace. And then when we would get ready to take up, I would just go on the radio, Patty, and he would go
on the way
148 and 7th, and he wouldn't say anything else. We would just walk up the block and get on the rig, and boom, we'd be out of there.
Nice stealth, baby.
Great. Yeah.
Wow. So the Sultan of the Standpipe, the Wizard of Water, the
Bro of H2O.
Bro of H2O. I think he's in the chat. There he is.
He's such a funny guy. He is a funny guy.
Yep.
Wow. Good stuff.
He called you one of the best mentors he ever had earlier on in the broadcast.
He did. Yep.
Well, I really appreciate that, and that's kind of the way I felt about Ralph Tizo. You know, you get that one guy that really sends you in the right direction. You know?
Mine was Roofy.
Yeah, Chief, that's definitely like when you think about when you become a boss, like you definitely take all these little pieces of all like things that you like from all the bosses that you've seen or had. Absolutely. You know what I mean? There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a little piece of everybody. But
take the good stuff, you throw away the bad stuff that you don't like, right?
Yeah. Well, that counts too, because you see things that some bosses do. You say, "Wow,
yeah.
I would never do that," or "I wouldn't want to," you know.
Yep.
Wouldn't want to be in that situation. What he's putting himself in, you know.
Yeah. Maybe yelling at your chauffeur for backing up into a car. You might want to
like this.
You know,
what are you doing?
What are you
when
doing?
When the deputy is behind us following us to the job, he backed into the car. That guy right there, my chauffeur. Hello. That guy right there.
Right there. This guy.
I'm like, you just backed into a car.
In my defense, I was backing up. And I hit the car, and then the guys get on the handy-talkie and say, "Stop!" I'm like, "Hey, dude, maybe you should have fucking said stop before I hit the car." I don't know. You know?
How long did you guys work
together? 98, and then you got promoted when?
2002, so 4 years, and then
you came back
a couple of years back as lieutenant. 2008.
Yeah, so maybe like 6 or 7 years.
7 years,
something like that. Somewhere the best I can't tell you. Best 7 years ever. Best.
Never liked you.
Never liked you.
Oh shit.
So where are we? You got promoted to captain. You went to where am I lost here?
Was there anything else you want to talk about in 69 before we move on?
Oh man, I could talk all night about that.
I know. The only thing is we're at an hour and 30, Chief. Hour 20. So.
You got to move it a little bit.
Okay.
All right. So why'd you go to? Where did you get the spot? Where are we?
So I went to the captain's.
That's right. At Livingston Street, right? Okay.
Yeah. Sounds like fun.
Yeah, that was one of Commissioner Von Essen's things.
Yuck.
Every class of captains had to go down there, and then they had to get assigned a project. And it was good while I was there, though. I got to meet Chief Gansey and work with him a little bit in the office. So we the group I was in, we got assigned to. They were starting this thing where they were going to send captains out to the firehouses to do drills during the day, just to help out new company officers and stuff like that. So yeah, that was interesting. It's a little tough sometimes to walk into a firehouse and upend their day and say, "Hey, I'm going to give you."
Yo, fucko, get off the couch.
The brothers love that.
Yeah. Especially
somebody coming from headquarters. Yeah, great. Somebody saying from headquarters.
They had started that Pass It On program where if something bad happened, they tried to get it out immediately, like in a memo. So we had that material. So that made it a little bit easier to go into a place and say, hey, this is what happened at a fire in the Bronx last week. This happened, and maybe we could have done this. So, that made it a little bit easier. But
you should have walked in there. Hey, listen to this. Read this. Don't do this. All right. Have a good day, guys. See you later. Get back to sleep.
That was good. Like a lot of places, if you showed up at lunchtime, they were making lunch for you, and
that's not bad.
Yeah, you got to run into some people. And then we also had to start the night training. That was another one of Von Essen's things, where they would call 2 and 2 out to the Rock at night.
Oh, they love that, the brothers.
Oh my God! I remember the first night when it was going to start, and John Gleason was another captain. He was there with us. He's standing there with the clipboard, and the rig pulls up, and the whole crew starts motherfucking him. What the fuck? He goes, okay, you're here. Okay, move on.
Next.
But nobody wanted to go out there at night. I can imagine you coming in for a night tour, and
you went right after the change of tour. Like I remember,
you
would get the ticket at 1800.
Yeah, February.
We tried to make it good, and we tried to make it quick. So we would do a scenario and try to make it last like a half an hour, 45 minutes, and then bang, you could pick up and take up.
Like you're saying, if you're coming all the way out there, you might as well do something, worthwhile.
Exactly.
And like you said, if as long as you can get the heck out of there and you get back for dinner and you want to work in your place, that's the thing.
Yeah. So we tried to make it as quick as we could. And so we were the beginning crew on that, and then the next batch of captains they relieved us, and we got out of that detail.
That's tough, man. Holy shit, that's tough.
7th game of the World Series. Boo! Night training.
Super Bowl's on.
The truck goes to the Rock.
That was the one with Seville, Coobs, where it was like, I don't know, 1800. And like, we got the ticket at 1802 or whatever to go to the Rock. And the guys, somebody came running down the block, said there's a fire down the block. And we had already gotten the ticket to go to the Rock. Mm-hmm. So I got on the radio and said, 290, we got to, the truck was already responding, got the ticket. I said, 290, we're available for that box. And he's like, negative, you're going to the Rock. So I said, get on the rig. So we went down the block, and I said, they're waving us in. And I threw the microphone, and we ended up getting it first too, but it didn't go over well. I ended up getting a little
That's
bit.
That's good. You can take a little ass chewing later on.
Yeah, I took all right. I'll beg for forgiveness. You know what I mean? Cheap. I'd rather do that than.
The brothers love you, then, bro.
The captain who's down there doesn't love that, but I guess he probably would do the same shit anyway.
Oh, so then you go citywide doing these drills in the firehouses.
Well, we all had a territory. I was in the 14th division. So we didn't. Okay. Yeah, so I was. Yeah, I pretty much stayed to the 14th.
In the R group. That's a good. In the 4-6 battalion, right?
Yeah, that was great. Yeah. 289, 287, 138, 136.
All right.
274.
If you got to go to to the 14th, those aren't bad companies to go to.
Yeah, no, they were good. They were really good, and then I got a UFO spot in 136.
Mm-hmm.
That was a great place. Great guys, a lot of senior guys. My squad leader from Provy School was still there. Brian Malloy. Yeah, I would have taken a spot there, but there was a guy on medical leave that they owed the spot to. So there was no way I was getting it. He was definitely coming back there, So when he came off medical leave,
I think Brian Malloy lived in that neighborhood too. He lives right over there.
he might have. Yeah, he might have. Yeah. Real nice guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
They run around a lot too, but they catch some good work over there, all occupied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great house. Yeah. There was a guy in the engineer that I knew. I went to Proby school with, Eric. I want to say Sands, but it wasn't Sands. Something similar to that. But he was there.
Bill Pence, Tense Pence.
Great place. It was Charlie Soma, I think, or something like that, was the captain there in 287.
They had a little bit of turnover over there for a while. I remember that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Great place. I really like
The
the guys.
4-6 had always had good chiefs there too. I mean, Chief Clehouse was there, and Cucarulo, Ferran. I mean, they've always had good.
Yep.
McBride is there. A bunch of guys there.
So you decided to transfer back to Division 3?
Yeah, Nick Visconti became the division commander. And,
the teddy bear.
What's that?
The teddy bear, they used to call him, right?
So John Acerno was the battalion commander in the 4-6, and I said, "Go ahead, Chief. I'm gonna
Oh, Acerno
go up to Division 3." He calls up Visconti while I'm sitting there, and he goes, "You guinea bastard! You're gonna take my good guys out of here."
Shit.
They busted each other's balls. They worked together, I think, in 40 truck at one time or something like that. So I went up to the third division, covering around a little bit. Then Jimmy Campbell was the captain of 58 engine. And I went there on a Saturday day tour, worked overtime. And I had only been in the firehouse a couple of times on relocations. And I worked a day tour overtime there. And I said, well, this would be a nice place to be the captain. and Jimmy was on the chief's list, in the mentor program. So I was working in 35 engine one night with Freddie Sheffield, rest in peace. And he goes, yeah, you're interested in 58? And I go, yeah, I'd love to. He goes, all right, I think we can work it out. So, oh, great.
Wow.
So, yeah, he got me over there. And unbelievable house. Just tradition, great guys, great.
Top 5, right? Tradition-wise, I mean, top 5.
Yeah. Well, I came from 3 unbelievable places: 45 and 58, 69 and 28, and now 58 and 26. They're kind of places where you have a reunion. There's 150 guys there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no doubt.
The guys are like 85 years old, and they still come to the parties.
No doubt.
Great.
You did all right in that career path there, man. Holy shit. Talk about
I think I was a little bit lucky.
Yeah.
Who was that at your? Who was that at? How long were you there for, Chief? I mean, how long were you there as captain?
I was only there 4 years because 9/11, everything sped up.
Yeah.
They made
Right.
it fast. I was on that chief's list, and I was thinking I had 2 or 3 more years, and then after 9/11, they made the promotion so quickly. But Charlie Roberto was in the truck. Dennis Calaby had just left. He became battalion chief. John Calamari was in the truck.
Oh my God.
Great fire officer, great guy. Oh my God, the world according to John.
Oh my God.
I love him.
Yeah, we got the food on the stove. It's a 10:26. I'll get your name in a second. Hold that. There's a gas leak as well. We're going to take care of that. It was just like, what the hell is going on? Freaking love that guy.
Stevie Lonigan was there, and then he became the captain of 58 when I left. And one of my best friends, Eddie Garrity. Eddie Garrity from the pipe band with the big handle bar.
Yeah.
He was there. Great fireman, great fire officer. And then the engine, I had Bobby Nagel, Vietnam vet, Jeff Sims, and the captain was getting promoted. Jimmy Campbell was getting promoted when I got the spot.
What do you think would be the busiest house that you were in? Not better, just saying busiest.
I think fire-wise, it was definitely 69.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 45 when I first got there, we were rocking pretty good. And 58 when I worked there, we were catching good work, but for the amount of jobs, 69 definitely when I was there during that crack period there from early 90s.
It had to be 4 or 5 jobs there a night, like
that's
in Harlem, and they all go to the same jobs. They might not be first due, but they're all going to the job. 28's going to every job for 30 blocks, whatever it was. They were all going to the same jobs.
Yeah, crazy stuff.
23 truck,
but
all those.
26, that's great fire. I mean, senior guys, Eddie Roberts in the truck, Tommy McCarthy in the engine. They both came on like in 1970 or something like that. And then everybody below them, one better than the next. Great,
just stack up like incredible.
Yeah, great fire.
When you have that tradition, it forces the guys like to be better. You know what I mean? Like they have to do it, right? When they see what has come before, it really does.
Right. And then on the shoulders of the giants,
it puts pressure. It puts pressure on them to be. Every time the door goes up, they're representing those guys and that reputation. So it's important to make sure that they're doing the right thing.
Right? Definitely. Yeah. A funny story there. I had a bunch of guys. They were already there when I got there, but the guys that got assigned out in Queens and wanted to come up to Harlem, guys from trucks. I had some big guys, like this guy Chris McLaughlin, big dude, like 6'3" maybe. Who else was there? Paul Lawler, big guy.
In the engine?
Yeah, these guys are in the engine.
Well, you had to go to the engine first, right, to get to the truck?
You know what? They all came up. They wanted to come up to 5826. They came up to the engine and they stayed. So a lot of nights, my crew was like, I'm pretty short. My crew was like way over 6 foot, and the truck crew was like my size.
That's freaking hilarious.
Earl Roberto's the captain of the truck. He goes, John, he says, I got a couple of vacancies. You want to see if anybody wants to come over? And I said, yeah. So I said, let me see if anybody's interested. So I go through the roster. I start with the senior guy. I'm working my way down. No. I get to Mike Fitzpatrick, and he goes, you tell Captain Roberto to canvass the truck. If there's anybody that's got 10 years and wants to come over the engine, let me know. So nobody went to the truck.
No shit.
Wow.
Yeah, they all stay in the engine. All these guys. Rick Campbell.
Canale's been there over 30 years.
Jimmy Brady. A lot of these guys, they just stayed.
Where was Canale, Roof? I thought Canale was in 43. And
no, he's in 58. He's been there the whole time. His whole time.
Really?
58 engine. He's a chauffeur in 50. I mean, I know he went to the Rock to do some stuff, but he was teaching engine ops.
Yeah. I saw him on 9/11. He's still doing all that training stuff.
But he
and engine chauffeur training.
Yeah, but he's been there.
Great.
We just passed 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite guys. A nice guy.
Good cook.
Yes, without a doubt. Yeah.
Cooking hockey. He's a hockey player too, right?
Yeah.
He's a good man.
Yeah.
I'll get him on when he goes. So you're there during 9/11, right? Did you guys lose anybody during 9/11?
Yeah, we lost Bobby Nagel. Yeah.
Oh, you said that. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah. Lieutenant Nagel. Yeah. A lot of people might not know this story because there's a million stories out there. When you think you've heard them all, you hear another one, But they went down with 7 guys. And Mike Fitz was driving Bobby Nagel. And they went into the hotel. They were supposed to report into the hotel because there was fire in the hotel from debris falling on it and everything. Joe Marchbanks from the 12th Battalion and Fred Sheffield from the 12th Battalion both went down. They were in the lobby, and I think Tom Galvin was in the lobby also. So they had to walk a couple blocks. So Nagel says to the boys, put your roll-ups down. They had extra bottles. Put your bottles down. Just take a blow for a few minutes. I'll go in and see what they need us to do. And then the first collapse came, and he got trapped. So they found him. He was behind a lot of debris, like aluminum studding and plumbing, and they couldn't get him out. First thing you want to know is, are the guys okay? And, everybody was okay except for him. And they had a search rope. They sent Scotty Paskowitz out to get help. So he went out and he found two guys from 113. I think Ray Brown and Billy Morris, who was one of my guys in 69, but he had gone to 113. They were getting tools. They were coming in to try to get Bobby out. Then the second collapse, they all scattered, and miraculously they all survived except for Bobby. And Mike Fitz got banged up pretty good. They took him to Brooklyn by boat to a hospital, but they all survived.
Wow. I never heard that story, man.
I remember there was something about the rope. Like, I don't remember, like, I don't know if it becomes so blurry. I don't remember if I actually saw the rope there or not. But I remember the search rope was going down. I remember there was a pillar there and it was going down there. Oh,
I lost you guys. This is a piece of the rope. I cut a piece of the rope off.
Yeah, so I remember the rope like going down, like when we got there, that the rope was going, there was a pillar, like a concrete pillar, and the rope was going down right alongside the pillar going down, and it was like all into like crevices and cracks and everything. And
and we never found a trace.
I was going to ask
really?
Never found a trace of them?
We never found. They were talking to him before the second collapse, and we never found a trace.
That's crazy.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And March Banks and Fred Sheffield also got killed in that hotel lobby. I'm not sure about Tom Gowan, how he survived it, because he was in there with them too.
His name, I remember
that's crazy that those guys
I remember
survived.
that. I remember him that day. I remember that.
Bob Nagle, he was a funny guy, tough guy, Vietnam tunnel rat.
Wow.
He was a dog handler in the tunnels in Vietnam. So we thought we were going to find him. We thought for days we were going to find him. So we got down there. We commandeered a bus. They had the recall. We commandeered a bus in front of quarters, and we had like 40 guys on the bus from the battalion. We got down there maybe an hour after the collapse, and get off the bus, and a guy from 91, Russo, he goes, "Cap, I think 58's all dead." I said, "Come on." He goes, "No, they were in the hotel. The hotel's all collapsed, So we took some of the guys to the staging area, and then Jeff Sims and I worked our way back around to the hotel, and then we started one at a time finding our guys, and they couldn't see. They had so much crap in their eyes, But one by one, we accounted for everybody, and they knew that Mike Fitz had gone to Brooklyn to a hospital. So the only guy we couldn't count for, of course, was Bob. But
Wow.
they said the second collapse just
Crushed everything.
Went down like 7 stories or something like that. They say,
Wow.
Yeah. So from talking to him, we'll get you out to never
finding
him.
them. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you're promoted in 2012 to BC, you're saying, right? When everything sped up and they had to replace all these guys?
Right.
And
2002. Oops, 2002.
2002. Oh, you're right, because it says 2202.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, that's probably my typo, right?
Right. So after command school, you're assigned to Division 6, right?
Yeah.
How long were you up there for?
Well, not to the division, but covering in the division.
Oh, covering, but
Yeah.
you went to WTC for detail?
Well, I went to the 14th Battalion for like maybe 6 weeks, and then I went down to the Trade Center. I think March or April. I think April I did the detail in the Trade Center. It was like a mop-up at that point,
All right, because we were out of there by like May, I think, right? Almost.
Yeah, it closed in May. Yeah, the next month it closed up. Yeah. So then I came back, and I was in the 2-6 battalion for maybe a month or two. And what a great place. 50 and 19 and the 2-6 battalion is another gem.
Oh my God.
Characters like you can't believe. What great guys. Great guys there.
That's got a lot of history, that place too, my God.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they were filling the spot there. So I can't remember who got it at that time. So then Frank Donnelly calls me up and he says, because now he's in the 16th battalion. He goes, what are you doing? And I said, just finishing up in the 2-6 here. I'm going to go SA. He goes, all right, you're coming over to the 16th. Oh, my God.
This guy's getting called all over the place, bro.
Dude,
What's
the guy's
going on?
like, you know, we've had some guys with some storied careers, but I mean, this guy's hitting them all out of the
He's
park,
not even making calls. They're
He's not even
calling
trying to
him.
do anything.
No.
He must have the goods. Maybe he's got the goods.
He's
Maybe.
in tight with Frankie the Fixer.
So over to the 16th battalion now, back home in 69 and 28.
Wow.
And well, it was great. It was great. Good guys still there. Bobby Morris was gone because they had taken him down to Rescue 1 after 9/11.
Right.
So Paulie was there then at that point?
No, not yet. No,
Oh, he wasn't there yet.
No. Who was in the? Oh, Jimmy Kane was in the engine, captain. We had a couple covering guys. Joe Callan Jr. was there.
Wow.
Trying to remember who else was in the end. Stewie Loeb was there for a while. The truck. Oh, it's a truck. Kevin Flanagan, like the sweetheart of the fire department. If you know Kevin Flanagan.
I don't know him.
Yeah,
Who
he
was the
here.
captain of 28 when Morris left?
He'll come to you.
I can't think of his name now.
It's right
I know
there.
him very well. He went to safety as a chief. He was from 43 truck.
I don't know.
I'll think of it.
What was it like going back? I know how it was like for me to go back as lieutenant after I was a fireman there. How was it like going back as the chief to the house now? Was it a little weird? Did you guys feeling you out a little bit? Like, how did you feel?
Yeah, well, I knew quite a few of the guys because I always kept in touch with everybody and always went to all the reunions and parties and everything. And my one good friend from Haleside out here was a fireman here, and I did call him. And I said, Mark, I might come over there covering. Would you have a problem with that? And he goes, "Are you kidding me? We need you over here." So okay. I just didn't want to step on your toes. Like he's trying to get his career going. I mean, he's in the volleys with me at Haleside. He known him since he was a little kid.
Chief Timmy Klett said Doug Gert.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, man, how could I forget that? Doug, if you're watching this, I apologize, brother. Yes, it was Doug Gert. Yeah, before Mike Hayes came back over. Yeah, that's funny because Mike Hayes was one of my probies when I got to 69. And then he came back.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It just keeps regurgitating the same stuff, right? I mean, it does. It really does.
Yeah. So
Tight knit group of guys, man.
Great. Wow. And we were still, it wasn't as crazy as in the 90s, but we were still consistently.
Pretty consistent. Yeah, right.
Consistently getting work. Yeah.
So
Who
how
were
do
the
you
other
find?
chiefs there?
Go ahead. Sorry, Ruff.
No problem.
I'm sorry?
Who were the other chiefs there with you?
Well, Frank Donnelly was the commander. Bobby Smith was there. Let's see. Richie Tobin was there covering, and me. And then Richie Tobin got promoted, and George Carlin came.
Wow.
And then George, he ended up getting some kind of throat cancer, so he had to get out. He's doing fine. I see him all the time.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he's doing fine. He's in the golf club that I'm in, so I see him all the time.
Oh, golf club, Ruffy.
Where are you, Chief? You're down south?
No, I'm still up in Centerport.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Yeah. We're in the Emerald Golf Association, plays out on Long Island, and it's like 125 guys, mostly firemen, couple cops, couple civilians, friends of guys that are in the club.
Great.
And some Yonkers guys. We got some Yonkers firemen.
Oh, and
How's the
maybe
game?
you have a Warwick guy over there coming soon.
How's your game? How are you hitting them?
I've resigned to the fact that I'm 100 plus or minus 5, and I'm much happier that way than trying to tear.
Getting aggravated. Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Exactly.
I understand.
Yeah.
So George Carlin got sick, and then Ray Sessa, who was one of my firemen in 69 Engine, was a battalion chief, and he was captain of 13 Truck. Then he made battalion chief, so he came back in. So Ray and I were 24 partners.
So how'd they find out about your lungs?
I was feeling something, and I said Donnie Merther was my aide, and I said, "Listen, one of these days I'm going to tap out."
I'm very good friends with Don, actually. I hunt with him. He's a big hunter. Yeah, he's a big hunter.
Yeah, he's a hunter and fisherman. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And his uncle's a legend, right?
Yeah, Jerry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, I said, don't be alarmed. So we went to some kind of a high-rise, multiple dwelling, and it was a really hot day. I was a safety chief, and we're on the upper floors for an hour or so, and so I come down, and I'm feeling this tightness, and I said, all right, this is a good time. So so I tapped out, and they took me to St. Luke's, did some tests, and then they sent me to all the battery of tests, and I go down to see Dr. Wyden, the lung guy. And he goes, "So, Chief, you're looking to retire?" And I said, "No, actually, I was looking to do another 5 years." And he goes, "Oh, well, that's a horse of a different color." But then after I had all the tests down at Lenox Hill and everything, he said, you can't go full duty again, So, but I take the medications, and hot and humid gets me
right.
in the summertime. I got to be careful with that.
So no trips to Florida anytime soon.
Well, we go for the winter, but not for the summer.
What part of Florida?
Yeah.
Where you at in Florida?
We rent, but this year we're going down to Hutchinson Island by Jensen Beach.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
See, you gotta live your life, Ruffy. That's what you say, right?
Yeah.
Must be nice to have money. You know what I mean, Coops?
Yeah.
Well, you remember where he said he's from in the beginning, right? Somewhere in Huntington. I haven't even heard the place. You know what I mean? All the shuttle up there.
Yeah. And like I said, if whoever thought you could start out at $13,000 a year and be where we are now.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Chief.
Yeah.
Chief, question for you. Steve Irado wants to know, was it George Carlin you're referring to a captain on Marine 9 by any chance?
No.
Okay, different George Carlin.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Was there anything else you wanted to touch on, Chief, before we
I got to say about one fire that I had. I'm surprised you didn't ask me about it.
Which one? Go.
So we're up on Amsterdam Avenue on a gas leak or something, and I'm going to give an 18, and then the dispatcher says, 1-6, can you release any units? And I said, yeah, we're getting ready for an 18. He goes, all right, getting smoke in the area, 139 in Amsterdam. I said, okay. So then we put everybody in service. So 80 and 23 are going to be first two, of course, and 37 and 40 are up there. So now they're getting numerous calls for fire on the block on 139. And then they're getting numerous calls for the firehouse. So,
23 truck, right? Oh yeah. we didn't do so good there. I forgot about that, Chief.
I don't even know about that. What?
Yeah, they lost the whole firehouse.
Really? Yeah. So we get there, and because we're all right in the area, we get right there, and now this has got this beautiful turn of the century firehouse. It's beautiful windows. And Richie Davin was in the truck. And I said, Rich, let me know what you think you got before I have these guys vent these windows. So now the stairway was right off the apparatus floor, and it went straight up. So I'm standing there, and I look, and they open the door at the top of the stairs, and fire
ripping. Oh my God.
Oh man!
You were like this. Like, how am I going to explain this one? Like, what the hell is going on here?
And so those old firehouses, all the office area is all old stained wood. They had a sitting room with overstuffed couches and chairs. And it's roaring up the pole hole. The third floor is going. So
what started it, Chief?
Well, this is the funny part. They had trouble with the boiler, and they asked the city to fix it, and the buildings department to fix it. And they sent them space heaters instead of fixing the boiler.
Goodness Christ.
And they had a study room with like overstuffed chairs and stuff, but there was a pole hole into it. So one of the chairs caught fire, out into the hallway, up the pole hole.
Up the pole hole. My goodness. I remember they were talking that it was up out of the windows, through the roof, like it was. I remember that.
Yeah. It was a second alarm.
Did they
put the firehouse back there?
I'm sorry?
Did they put the firehouse back in that same location? They rebuilt it?
Oh, they rebuilt it. Yeah. So 80 came down with us in 69 for a year, and the truck went down to 37 and 40 for a year. And we had a great time at 80 down in quarters. That was a good time with those guys. But of course, they lost half their boxes because they couldn't get up the hill, to get to the boxes. Yeah. But it was a serious fire.
Yeah. Did I cut you off?
No.
Oh, all right. So now I think I know what time it is. I think it's that time. Know what I'm saying there, Mike?
Do it.
Let me reboot my computer again because it goes. Because Ruffy will yell at me. He likes yelling at me. I don't know why. Maybe because he's got that lieutenant in him. I think that might be it.
So you're a boob.
Well, it could be too. It's time for the old school tip of the day.
All right. All yours, Chief.
All right,
Go ahead.
Well, I actually have a couple, if that's okay.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm a big proponent of water. Without getting water on a fire, firefighters get hurt. So we got to make sure everybody on the scene chases the kinks, and including the officer in charge, whether it be a chief in charge or a company officer in charge. Many times, while I was getting things set up out in front of the fire scene, there'd be that one or two kinks. It doesn't take but a couple seconds to kick it out and maybe make the difference between getting water on a fire or not. And listen to the officer. You're going to hear the officer call for water. So if you're doing a search someplace or you're above the fire, you hear the officer calling for water. All right, now you know things probably going to get better. And then when you hear the chauffeur say, "Here comes your water," it's even another hint that hopefully they're going to get water on fire, especially if you're in a bad spot above. The second thing is talk about every job and even just routine runs. When you get back, critique it in a positive way so that you can learn something from it. You have to keep learning. You can never stop learning to become a better firefighter. And the last thing, if you get a chance to be an instructor, by all means, try to do it. Whether you have a small department and you're just going to be instructor on a company level or a department level, or a larger fire department, maybe you have a training academy. If you go as an instructor, you'll learn so much more because you have to prepare for the lesson that you're going to give, or draw in information from experience you have or experience other firefighters have. So you'll learn more as you're preparing, and then you'll pass that along to other firefighters. So those are my 3 tips for the day.
Very
Excellent,
good, Chief.
Chief.
You know what makes me laugh all the time? Because I had this idea, like back in the day, 70s, 80s, that guys, they didn't have time to even think about drilling or talking about any of that stuff. That it wasn't even
getting their balls beat in.
That wasn't the case. They were drilling and doing all of that stuff, like the chief was saying. Like that's just a common thing. And like he was saying, 69 and 2. You think the guys up there are taking it easy? They're not.
They train every day.
Every day. Keith Nicolillo, 30 truck he was on. Yeah, they did that all the time. So it was just weird to us. I was in Queen and Brooklyn, we drilled all the time, and I'm like, those guys aren't, they're not drilling, but you think back in the day, those guys were drilling and talking about jobs. That was happening after every job. Guys were talking about what they did, where they went,
right.
What could I do better? And if they screwed up.
I remember good bosses would ask you, we'd sit down after the job. Oh, what did you do? Okay. Why did you do that? Oh, okay, good. Okay. What did you do? Goes a long way.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, Mike, do you have that picture I just sent you? Did you see it?
Let me see.
I texted you a picture. The brothers are at third alarm right now in the Bronx.
Okay, I'll have to load that very quickly.
With a collapse, I believe.
Show it on the phone.
Okay, see if you'll have to move it here.
Oh, yeah. Where is that?
That's
wow.
The brothers a shout out tonight. It is
right now?
It's in Fordham Heights.
Fordham Heights, Bainbridge and 194 collapsed. Yep. Lots of water problems.
Well,
as the chief just said, chase the kinks.
Yeah. So let's
some job.
Say a couple prayers for the brothers tonight.
Yeah.
Guys, I really appreciate you having me on.
Oh, Chief, anytime.
Chief, it was our pleasure.
Great.
Believe me, you have an incredible career. You have a lot to be proud of, which I'm sure you are. And hopefully you hit them drives right down the middle. You know what I mean? That's the most important thing.
Not everybody shoots in the 80s, Ruff. You know what I'm saying?
The Chief, I'm going to get the Chief. We're going to get together. We're going to slap the ball around a little bit. Come up to Warwick.
You should come out with the Emeralds one day.
I'm in.
Yeah.
So you don't got to ask him twice. Golf? What?
I'm in.
Okay.
I'll figure out.
Oh, Mike, you know what we got to do? We got to play the health and safety old school tip of the day. I'm sorry.
Right. No, of course, we can't forget it. I played them earlier, but we're going to give them double love tonight. And this old school health and safety tip is brought to you by FD Collectors Club.
The FD Collectors Club is a monthly subscription service that delivers fire department patches and challenge coins. No more stopping by a firehouse just to find out they're out on a call. Start and grow your collection today.
There he is. Now give us the health and safety tip, bro.
All right.
The First Responders Center for Excellence is a not-for-profit organization dedicated to protecting the lives and livelihoods of first responders. Their education and research initiatives aim to bring greater awareness and understanding to the challenges to the health, safety, and well-being of firefighters, EMS personnel, and other first responders, too. They are an affiliate of the National Fallen Firefighter Foundation.
Tonight's health and safety old school tip of the day is never store your bunker gear inside of your car or home. When bunker gear must be transported, use a gear bag or a plastic bag. Don't bring that shit home to your kids, crying out loud, especially in the car. All right, everybody have a great Thanksgiving, man. Remember, we have a show. It's taped for Thursday night.
Morning.
Oh, Thursday morning, Mike says. So before you watch some football, tune it in, give it some likes. And we'll see you next Monday. And I'm very thankful for the show, for you guys, most of all for my wife who puts up with my crap all the time. And for Ruffy, being friends 45 years. Doesn't happen that often in life. Long time.
Holy moly guacamole.
Chief, thanks for coming on. We'll see. On Monday we have. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Chief. What?
I said great time. Thank you.
Oh, cool. Monday we have a what do we have? The Inventor's Corner. We got a cool new thing coming out for these lithium-ion battery fires. So check it out. Have a good Turkey Day. I'll see you guys Monday. Till then, stay low and go.
Chief, once again, it was our pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody. We'll see you at the big one.
All right, everyone. On behalf of Kevin Kubler, Lou Refrano, retired Chief John Newell, and Mike Cologne, we will see you next time. Stay salty, my friends. Good night.